Friends, good morning and welcome to another segment of SPTV News Live, where we bring you the latest shenanigans in the criminal cult of Scientology. So today's news, let's get right into it. It has to do with the full sworn testimony on Scientology harassment and Leah Remini's lawsuit. Now, we covered this previously on the channel about a week or so back, or 3 weeks ago, actually, in the video entitled Leah Remini Files Amended Lawsuit, Scientology Harassment Continues. But it's gotten even worse since then and has me looking around my neighborhood just a little bit more. So let's get into what's going on. And Mike Rinder and Claire Headley also came forward to provide statements about their alleged harassment. I have to say that, but they have an incredible track record of gang stalking people, especially at their kind of high profile level of attacking anybody that speaks out against them. I'll throw you guys over here in the chat because you can see, I think, the print's bold enough where you can see as I read along, but there's quite a bit of information here. It is intense, and we got to get out of here in an hour because there's I got to interview narcissistic psychopath HG tutor at 8 a.m., and that'll be up later today. It's kind of apropos to what we're covering today because who but psychopaths and or narcissists would do the fucking following. And by the way, this is from Tony Ortega's blog. This morning, there'll be a link in the description box. And here we go. So last week, we told you that Leah Remini had augmented her lawsuit against Scientology by submitting a motion to the court asking for an injunction. She wants the court to issue an injunction that would stop Scientology from continuing to harass her, something she says has only gotten worse since she filed the lawsuit originally on August 2nd of this year. And to back up that claim, she submitted 3 sworn declarations from Claire Headley, Mike Rinder, and Leah herself. We thought you'd like to see the actual language in those declarations since they make some pretty eye-opening allegations. Indeed, they do. Can the court ignore this kind of ongoing harassment into eternity? Declaration of Claire Headley. My name's Claire Headley. I serve as the president of the Aftermath Foundation, a 501c charitable organization created to help people start new lives after leaving Scientology. Below is a summary of actions that I am aware of that Scientology and OSA have been taking to harass and attack the Aftermath Foundations. I'm sure you guys are familiar with the Aftermath Foundation, but that specifically helps Sea Org members to get back on their feet that might want to leave the cult. They often have no family, money, a driver's license, or anything, and they have foundations in different cities to help with that aforementioned goal. Number 3, to achieve the goals of our organization, we raise money from the donors in various states. When the Aftermath Foundation began, we registered in the states in which our fundraising was focused based on our understanding of the regulations at that time. Those states were primarily California, New York, Florida, and a few smaller states. Many states had no registration requirements. This is really good to know for me personally, by the way, because I've had questions about the Aftermath Foundation. How many different cities are they in? And just more disclosure because, we have some people coming forward, but it would be nice to know more about the Aftermath Foundation in general. Number 4, the regulations governing state registration requirements for nonprofit and charitable organizations are governed by the Charleston Principles. The Charleston Principles factor in online fundraising elements that did not previously exist and require a nonprofit organization to register in a state if they A, receive an excess of $25,000, stand by, receive an excess of $25,000 in donations from that state, and or B, have an excess of 100 donors from that state. This is interesting information. Good to know this. I didn't know any of this before. Number 5, in approximately October last year, a person going by the name of Emma Anderson started contacting every state where the foundation was not registered and making the allegation and complaint that we were, quote, claiming to be registered with said state. We've received letters about these complaints from approximately 10 to 20 different states. Attached as one example of these letters, it specifically references the complaint as the aforementioned Emma Anderson. Stand by while I take a drink of water and check in on you guys. Is anybody actually awake at 7 a.m. my time, PST? Yes, they are. Hi, guys. All right, carrying on. After Leah Remini filed her case against Scientology, the attacks to our organization increased in number and in intensity. I don't doubt that at all. Number 7, in September 2023, we were contacted by Marisha, I know I'm fucked that up. Valdez, apologies. I'm not good with names and stuff like that. But Marisha Velez, State of Florida Senior Financial Investigator for the Office of Agricultural Law Enforcement of the Florida Department of Agricultural and Consumer Services. Now, that's a freaking mouthful. Try to say that 10 times fast while stoned. Ms. Velez informed us that, once again, the quote, Emma Anderson has been making complaints about our renewal registration. And you'll see as we go that she's probably a false name. Falsely alleging that we were making false claims of being registered with certain states, I compiled and sent Ms. Velez all of our certificates of compliance showing that we are properly registered in Florida and other states. Number 8, during my conversation with Ms. Velez, she stated her legal team is currently of the view that, quote, Emma Anderson is not a real person. I asked her why they thought that, and she said that they have offered to this person that they may act as a witness if they have knowledge of the allegations they're making, and despite repeated requests, this person will not do so. She told me her department has no doubt these complaints are being made by the cult of Scientology. She mentioned that they have never seen anything like this in terms of an attack on a charitable foundation. Ms. Velez also mentioned that during the course of looking into this matter, she's spoken to charity offices in other states, and she mentioned that they also brought up the name Emma Anderson as the, quote, person filing all these complaints. You think Scientology would at least have 2 or 3 people working for them, but since their numbers are declining and they're getting hammered from every level, apparently they can only work with one nowadays. Number 9, I have had similar conversations with other state investigators who have been contacted. For example, the investigator for the state of Tennessee mentioned he has never been so aggressively hounded by someone complaining about a charitable foundation. In this case, we were not yet registered with the state of Tennessee, as we did not yet meet the parameters outlined by the Charleston Principle, and yet we opted to submit registration paperwork regardless. The investigator offered to fast-track the registration for us, which he did. 10. Additionally, there's a private investigator who's been making phone calls to the social workers as well as the camera woman who work with the Aftermath Foundation in producing the documentary, The Story of Serge Oblensky. I will link that video in the description box, as well as the article and the video that I'm going to show you later. Everything we talk about will be linked in the description box shortly after the video publishes. This private investigator goes by the name Gabriel Sanchez. We verified he's a licensed private investigator operating out of Encino, California, and registered with the state of California. It's good to know these names too, you know. Now we can pay attention to these people next time they pop up on our radar. Number 11, on September 1st, 2023, he called Rachel Hastings, an independent contractor of the Aftermath Foundation, and left a voicemail message in which he stated he's a private investigator looking into the Aftermath Foundation, specifically their irregular fundraising methods and the handling of the funds they receive. He stated, quote, the foundation is under investigation by a state agency, and I saw your name on a recent documentary the foundation is putting together as a fundraising tool. I was hoping to get some information regarding your interaction with them on this documentary. The state agency is also looking for witnesses, so if you're not willing to speak, possibly you know someone who might be able to. Once again, I'm a private investigator. My name is Gabriel Sanchez, and I can be reached at, we even have his phone number here, awesome, 818-531-7927. YouTube or anybody wants to take the frickin' channel down again, this is not doxing. This is in a document that was published today. So I'm just reading off the details. Number 12. Additionally, we are aware that there is someone going by the name of, oh shit, no way. Someone going by the name of Zero Dark Tony on YouTube who is telling people to donate to the Aftermath Foundation and then demand refunds. Guys, calm down in the chat because I know that name's going to set off a lot of people. I interviewed him several weeks ago and he turned out to be just a little bit different than he portrayed in the interview. But hey, I gave him a fair chance and it's good evidence/material to go back and listen to and see how full of shit he is. Okay, so additionally, we are aware that there is someone going by the name of Zero Dark Tony on YouTube who's telling people to donate to the Aftermath Foundation and then demand refunds. He's also been going through all state registration forms in great detail on his channel, attacking the foundation. Number 13. As a former Scientologist, I recognize these efforts as an attempt to destroy any individual or entity that rejects Scientology. By the way, real quickly on Zero Dark Tony's behalf, I don't like the guy. I blocked him shortly after we did the interview, but he has riled up a lot of you guys. I don't believe he's working for OSA. And the way I handle that is to simply block, move on, and pay him no fucking attention. Because he's just generating drama off all this shit. So, as a former Scientologist, I recognize these efforts and an attempt to destroy any individual or entity that rejects Scientology. Number 14, the constant harassment of the Aftermath Foundation and the charitable purpose it exists to accomplish has the potential to scare off both donors and workers, both of which we rely on to carry out our purpose. And she declares under penalty of perjury that the foregoing is true and correct. Now we have Mike Rinder's declaration. Some of these details have been covered last week in previous videos, but this is the full declaration, and there is quite a bit of new details, not least the names and phone numbers of the actual creeps perpetrating this, allegedly. Here's Mike Rinder's declaration. My name is Mike Rinder. I became involved in Scientology at the age of 5 because of my parents' involvement. I joined Scientology Sea Org when I was 18. Number 2, over the years, I rose in the ranks within Scientology and served in leadership positions, including becoming Scientology's international spokesperson. I was on the Church of Scientology International's board of directors in this position, and because of my status, I was very close to the elf, David Miscavige. Number 3, I also served in the role, this is the important part, but good on him for listing this out. Number 3, I also served in the role of head of the Office of Special Affairs. This is their intelligence division that does their dirty tricks and intelligence operations. I don't know why he calls it the OSA. It's just OSA. OSA essentially serves as Scientology's CIA, and under the direct supervision of the midget, directs investigations and carries out operations against those who attack Scientology or, quote, suppressive persons, SPs. Number 4, because of my role in Scientology and specifically OSA, I'm well aware of the types of Scientology's methods to quell the voices of those who leave or attack Scientology. These tactics include the type of character assassination, stalking, and harassment that Leah Remini and I, as well as many others, have been subjected to many years. And he's being nice there. I would say they're bordering on a terrorist organization that engages in gang stalking with a little bit of mafia type shit thrown in there, and all under the guise of a fake religion that receives tax exempt status here in the US. Number 5, Scientologists are dedicated to not only attack those who are vocal against Scientology, but also, this is so true, I've even had fucking people sent in on me pretending to be girlfriends and shit right when I left, but also anyone close to them personally or professionally. Scientology also commands that when individuals speak out against Scientology, they must be destroyed personally and professionally. 100% true. And they literally have policies that they follow and word clear to make sure exactly that is done. Number 6, I escaped Scientology in 2007 and immediately became a top public enemy of Scientology. After Remini escaped Scientology in 2013, we developed a friendship and started working together on projects to increase awareness of Scientology's harmful teachings and providing support to those who had left Scientology. It's drink of water time, or suffered under its policies. Stand by. Ms. Remini and I have since co-hosted a docuseries. I'm sure you guys know Leah Remini, Scientology in the Aftermath. That woke up so many people, at least in my circle of friends, about what the hell Scientology is. That it's not just a kooky UFO cult that believes in Xenu. They're a mafia-esque organization. And I've also co-hosted podcasts in which we discuss Scientology. Again, I'll leave a link in the description box. Leah's and Mike are pumping out these awesome podcasts, especially as of late, and I highly recommend checking them out. Number 7, I'm aware that Ms. Remini filed her lawsuit against Scientology in August 2023. I'm also aware, based on my conversations with her and based on our own interactions, that the level of harassment of her and others by Scientology has increased significantly since that time. I don't doubt that. As we know, covered recently on this channel and elsewhere, there's so many lawsuits going on, from civil lawsuits carrying on with the Danny Masterson stuff to the civil lawsuit that Leah is filing here, and the attacks have just increased exponentially, and that's just a fraction of what's going on, and may many more come forward in the near future, which I'm sure will. Number 8, I personally have been the subject of this surge in attacks. Number 9, on August 15, 2023, I was made aware first by my son and then by neighbors that a suspicious vehicle was seen parked in our neighborhood in view of my home. The vehicle was parked on the main boulevard of our community outside their house, in a spot vehicles do not normally park. Now, these next few are based on what we have covered before, where there's literally video evidence of a alleged private investigator clearly following Mike and keeping tabs on him, and he jumps over the medium. And to be able to skip through those relatively quickly and not just rehash what we already have, I will show you said video, just a clip of it. Again, I'll link it in the description box so you can see the full thing. But this is the kind of shit they get up to.
Okay, we're out a couple of hours later, just coming out of our neighborhood, and this same PI is sitting in the empty church. Pull up straight in front of him, sitting in the empty church parking lot. Whoop, he's got to run, Whoop, whoop. We were onto him. He's hightailing it out of here now in a big hurry. Here we go. Christy the Leadfoot is going to pull up alongside him. Wind down your window. He's going over the curb. Amazing.
Again, link in the description box for that full video from Mike. But Jesus Christ, man, they have no scruples on getting out of there as quickly as humanly possible, eh? Carrying on, we're about halfway through. So, number 10 from Mr. Rinder. That day, my wife and I, okay, well, like I said, we can skip a couple of these because it's already been covered and you can see the aforementioned video. He chronicles the events on this day on his blog. I'll leave that in the description box as well. Number 13, it should be noted that I'm currently undergoing treatment for stage 4 esophageal cancer, a fact publicly disclosed and of which Scientology is aware. In fact, tweets by Scientology operatives seemingly celebrate my diagnosis and poor health. Yeah, that's how fucked up they are. They really would. They consider Mike a suppressive person, the equivalent of that being Satan combined with Hitler. And since I was in that headspace for a good portion of my life, I do understand it. And it really is a sickness that they would and do celebrate SP's suffering. Number 14, my current condition has left me in a weakened condition, and therefore these harassing episodes by Scientology are distressing to both me and my family now more than ever. I declare under penalty of perjury under the laws of state of Florida that the foregoing is true and correct, Mr. Mike Rinder. Now we finish off with Leah, who's experienced the most extreme alleged fair gaming not only since she started speaking out and got out of Scientology in 2013, but in particular, they've seriously ramped up since her civil lawsuit, trying to stop the very thing that she's talking about here from continuing on in the future. Plaintiff Leah Remini, who hereby attests as follows. Stand by for a drink of water. So I'm the plaintiff in the above captioned action. I filed my lawsuit alleging civil harassment, stalking, intentional and infliction of emotional distress, torturous interference with contractual relationship, intentional interference with prospective economic advantage, defamation and defamation per se, defamation by implication, false light, and declaratory judgment on August 2nd, 2023. A first amended complaint was filed on August 29th, 2023. And that appertains to the video that I showed you at the beginning of this broadcast. Number 2 is detailed in my complaint. The defendants in this action have for nearly 2 decades engaged in a campaign to utterly destroy my life. I'm not quite sure. Maybe you guys can let me know in the comments afterwards why she says 2 decades. I believe she got out in 2013. And since it's 2023, I believe that would be 1 decade, but maybe I'm misunderstanding something there. But for a hell of a long time, there's been a campaign that's been waged against her to, quote, utterly destroy her life, as well as the lives of those close to Miss Remini, as directed, of course, by the teachings of Scientology. Again, it's literally policy. You must follow it, or you're not a Scientologist in good standing. Number 3, the acts within this campaign have been in many forms and are delivered both electronically via social media and other internet websites and personally in threats to me and those close to me. The harassing and defamatory acts disseminated by these defendants number in the tens of thousands and continue to be circulated daily via various websites, Twitter, now known as X, and multiple other electronic media. In these attacks, Scientology operatives harassed not only me and those close to me, but also advertisers who run ads, advertisers whose ads run during any show associated with me. These tactics are directly from Scientology's teachings, and are a type of psychological warfare to terrorize those who speak out against Scientology. Absolutely correct. It's all about gaslighting the shit out of you until you cower away and stop attacking them. That's their end product of these attacks. An attacker nullified and will stop doing what they're doing. Number 5, the directives by Scientology, and specifically the ELF, have been carried out by operatives within Scientology and third parties hired by Scientology to perform specific acts of harassment, defamation, or stalking. Absolutely true, and very important to understand that it not only comes from Scientologists, but as we've covered recently and extensively on this channel, this is part of their safe pointing of other people that aren't Scientologists to do their dirty work. Number 6, since the filing of my complaint, Scientology's attacks of me and those close to me have escalated to a much greater degree than ever before. As detailed below, the recent attacks also involve my mother and sister, who have been threatened, harassed, and stalked by Scientology operatives. Number 7, the defamatory social media attacks against me have escalated dramatically. The number of different accounts, all manned by Scientology agents, has risen to nearly 200, with each posting defamatory statements at least once daily. Can you imagine how much that might actually get on your mind after a period of time? Continuing on, a small sample of some of the more aggressive social media attacks that were published since my complaint are included in my motion for preliminary injunction. Number 8, I have strong reason to believe attempts have been made to unlawfully enter my gated neighborhood again. On August 28, 2023, I opened the gate for a friend who was visiting and arrived by Uber. The gate's clearly marked with no trespassing signs and instructions that cars should not follow others through the gate. The car behind her attempted to follow her through the gate before it closed completely and became wedged in the gate. The Uber driver noticed this attempt and stopped his car to prevent the unknown driver from entering. The unknown driver, a man not known to me or my friend, then left his vehicle, aggressively confronted the Uber driver, and said he was with Amazon and needed entrance through the gate. The man was in an unmarked vehicle and wore no uniform. People from Amazon, as we know, do wear uniforms. He verbally accosted the Uber driver and demanded entrance, which was denied, at which point he spent 20 minutes punching numbers into the call box without ever calling any residents of the neighborhood. Failing this attempt, he backed into the driveway of a nearby neighbor where he thought he was hidden from view of the cameras. The Uber driver and my friend believed he had been in this driveway the whole time, waiting to gain entry, as they had not seen anyone come up the street behind him. After 10 minutes, he sped away. These events were reported to the property manager and the LAPD. And as covered before, the LAPD also has very close ties to Scientology, so who the hell knows how seriously those allegations are or are not taken. Number 9, I also believe Scientology agents were sent to my mother's home as a threatening message to me. On September 3rd, 2023, at 5 a.m., 2 men approached my mother's front door of her home. My mother lives up a steep hill on a dead-end street, and the drivers of the car, 2 white men dressed in black, were captured on her home surveillance camera, surveilling the home while talking on a mobile phone. After knocking on the door, the 2 men, who parked on the side of the street down the hill, departed the area. On September 10th, 2023, a window at my mother's diner, Vivian's, was broken sometime in the night. Number 11, this week my sister received on her personal cell phone text messages from someone claiming to be my acquaintance and asking for my contact information. Number 12, my finances have come under attack since the filing of my complaint. At least 3 of my credit cards and 2 belonging to my assistant, who makes purchases for my business, have been hacked. I've had to take steps to cancel these cards and notify vendors of the cancellations. My accountant informs me that this level of hacking of one individual is highly unusual. I rely on these credit cards to maintain my business, and any disruption in service comes at a financial cost to me. Number 13, I maintain an Instagram account and have 3.6 million followers. This social media platform and my followers are important to me. Scientology operatives have, since the filing of my lawsuit, made efforts to damage my Instagram account. Various individuals believed to be connected to Scientology have submitted complaints to Instagram about me and my posts, particularly those mentioning my lawsuit and flagging those as hate speech. as soon as I read this, I was thinking this could have been why they got my Danny Masterson video taken down a couple weeks ago, because there's nothing in there that was hate speech, and they got me for like harassment and cyberbullying. But perhaps it really is Scientology just doing anything they can about what Leah is mentioning here. I have no idea. It's hard to tell. Should these attacks continue? But it's not hard to tell that they absolutely do these things, and I have no doubt that Leah's speaking the truth here. Should these attacks continue, I could risk losing the ability to advocate for victims of heinous acts via this tremendous platform. And that's exactly what Scientology's and OSA's end goal is to shut Leah up. 14, additionally, since the filing of my complaint, individuals who are close to me have been attacked by Scientology. 15, a nonprofit organization, the Aftermath Foundation, formed after the airing of my docuseries, Leah Remini, Scientology in the Aftermath, and comprised of individuals who want to help provide support to those choosing to leave Scientology, has also been the subject of malicious attacks believed to be designed to destroy the nonprofit and its purpose. 16, my colleague and friend Mike Rinder has been stalked along with his wife and 16-year-old son near his home in Florida, exposing him to harassment and dangerous encounters with the Scientology operative. And we covered that occasion where he was, you just saw it on video, where he's being stalked, allegedly by the cult of Scientology. Number 17, 2 unknown individuals went to my manager's home last week. This is them, how they get into business acquaintances, allegedly, trying to hack at the income. Neither were wearing shoes, and she thought they were homeless and unwell. They were loitering, standing outside her property, watching her home. She was immediately concerned for her safety, believing they were sent there from Scientology to intimidate her. When she asked them what their business was at her home, they said something non-discernible about her dogs. Oh shit! This caused her greater concern, considering she has heard stories about Scientology operatives poisoning people's dogs. And where did we hear that recently? That will probably be coming up in the civil lawsuit against Masterson and Scientology. This, we have to say alleged, but these are their gang stalking and terrorizing tactics that have been proven in the past, and they will poison people's pets. 18, a friend, former Scientologist to whom I provided public support, also recently had an unauthorized $12,000 debit to her business account. Number 19, Scientology and its operatives have, since I left Scientology, subjected me to harassment, stalking, and other abuses. While I've complained about these attacks in public forums, the offenses have been unilateral, as I have not, in turn, harassed Scientology or those associated. Since the filing of my lawsuit, these attacks have escalated dramatically and have now more than ever focused not only me, but my family members, my friends, and my professional colleagues. Have escalated dramatically and have now more than ever focused not only on Leah, but her family and associates. Almost done here. Number 20, I've publicly asked that Scientology stop its harassments, stalking, and other attacks of me and those close to me. To date, my requests have been dismissed as these abuses continue on a daily basis. Again, my friends, could you imagine trying to live your life while you constantly have to look over your shoulder simply for trying to do what's right and expose the crimes of this cult? 21, I declare under penalty of perjury under the laws of the state of California that the foregoing is true and correct. Again, that speaks for itself. I'm looking around my neighborhood a little more carefully as of late, but I have no doubt that the attacks are real and that they've definitely ramped up, because Leah has, unlike a lot of celebrities, actually for many years, not only dodged the spotlight, signed an NDA, and snuck away like Katie Holmes or whatever, not passing judgment, but she's not only hung in there and done enough already with the shows and stuff, but she keeps going after him, and God fucking bless her. My friends, I can't do questions today just because I have to roll out and do another interview. I really appreciate you joining us, especially since, at least here in LA, it's very early. And we'll see you soon later tonight with a subject that, like I said, appertains to this, dealing with psychopaths. And we'll be interviewing interview number 14 with narcissistic psychopath HG Tudor. And we'll be kind of dancing around and talking about these very subjects. Have a good day, my friends. We'll see you later.
physical labor, and intense ideological study are used to break a subject's will. So is that the truth?